Hey everybody, it's Rink with Remax in Regina. We've got Ryan Spriggs here with Spriggs Inspections, and he's going to explain the importance of drainage and getting that water away from your foundation. Because in Regina, with our soil conditions, it potentially could wreak some serious havoc on your foundation itself. So Ryan's going to take it away and explain some of the features.
All right, yeah, drainage, controlling the water around your foundation, definitely one of the big things that has to be dealt with a Regina house. Here's an example of a yard draining in towards the foundation wall. So now when the snow melts, when you get a heavy rain, you have all this extra moisture pushing in towards your foundation. So this would be a case where you'd be building up so you have at least 10 feet of slope away from the walls. Also too, to get that slope away from the foundation, you'd be looking at putting in a window well. By putting in a window well, you have all the freedom you need to build up as high as it needs to go, so you have that unmistakable slope away from the walls. Now, what you build up the grade with is important as well, in that you want to use a yellow clay or a native clay to get that slope away, because what happens with a clay is the water will have a hard time penetrating through, will run on the surface and away from the walls. You want to avoid sand, rock, wood chips, anything like that that won't shed that water away from the walls. Now also too, what's important is controlling the water as it drains off your roof. First up is making sure that your gutters are cleaned, that they're not full of leaves and twigs. You have no obstruction to stop that flow coming down. As it comes down the downspout, you want to make sure that you have a good proper extension on that pipe, a good 10 feet away from the walls, so there's zero chance of that water coming out of the downspout, turning and flowing back in towards your foundation.
So Ryan, why is it important to get the water away from your foundation? What aspects does it have towards, I guess, the negatives if you don't do it for your foundation?
All right, what happens if you allow the water to run in towards your foundation walls when it rains or when the snow melts is our clay soils that we have in this city will swell. That soil expansion will dramatically increase the lateral pressure on that foundation, making that foundation more likely over the years to crack and deflect in. Also too, that same moisture that's saturating the soils next to your foundation, it will work its way underneath the house, swell the clay soils beneath the basement floor slab, and in turn cause that basement floor slab to heave up. The other thing too is your basement is of course way more likely to see moisture pooling after a rainfall in the basement, mold, all horrible things to have to deal with within a basement. It definitely makes sense to spend the minimal cost building up the grade and extending the downspouts away in order to prevent the much more expensive repairs of having to brace a foundation wall or deal with mold and moisture staining.
So again, all these points that Ryan makes are so, well, very informative, number one, but number two, a lot of them are just very inexpensive fixes in order to prevent those items from happening. So if there's more information you guys want in regards to what Ryan spoke of today, you can contact me through my website, Rink.com, or you can get in touch with Ryan through his website at Spriggs Inspections.ca. Thanks again, take care.